What you want in a fountain is sound, but not oversplash. And the nice thing about this fountain is where the sound happens, where the water's really dropping, is below where it could be oversplashing. So you get a lot of sound with this fountain, but not a lot of oversplash. Ideal. You also have a light shining on the water, which is perfect. You do not want a fountain with a light bulb below the water. That represents conflict, fire underwater. Here you've got the fire like it would be in nature, like the sun shining down on the waterfall. This is really, it's one of the best fountains I've seen. I really like it a lot. If you have a fountain, you have the obligation of keeping it going. When a fountain is turned off, it's making the opposite of the signal you want to make. The signal of a fountain is water and bounty and good fortune are just bubbling up naturally in your life. As soon as it's turned off and you just see a dry fountain, the signal you're making is dried up, broke, don't work, nothing happening here. It's the opposite of the signal you want. So if you get a fountain, keep it going. Hopefully 24/7. If not 24/7, then at least during your waking hours when you're at home. And that's where a little timer can come in handy. But I just wanted to use this as an example of a really neat fountain. Make sure that the water doesn't look like it's flowing out your window or out your door. It should look like it's flowing into the heart of the home. If a fountain goes in all directions, that doesn't matter. But with a waterfall fountain, that very much matters. You don't want this looking like it's going right out your door. If you were having people around the table, you would definitely never have artificial or any flowers this high. You'd have a low arrangement, and the way that Feng Shui looks at flowers is, if they're really alive, that's great. If they're cut flowers, that's fine. If they're artificial flowers, no problem. They represent real living flowers. But if they are dried flowers, if they were at one time alive and had sap going through them, and now they're cut off and dried, it represents stagnation, and they are not recommended. And that goes for dried lei, for dried wreaths. You can keep them for as long as 3 months or 6 months, but if you're keeping them for sentimental reasons, after that length of time, it's best to box them up and put them away and not keep them on display. But Feng Shui has no problem with artificial plants. The only ones that might be a problem is I have seen, and I haven't seen at this store, but I have seen artificial plants that are meant to look like dried flowers, which to me is absurd, but I've seen them sleeping. The door represents the future, and that should make sense because anybody new coming into the room would use the door. It's the fresh energy coming into the room. It's the mouth of the room. And if you've got your back to it, what the symbol is that you're setting yourself up for surprises. You won't be as aware of what's coming up for you in your life. You won't be as prepared for it.
Are you saying
The architect has already decided where your bed's going to go, and you can't easily see the doorway from where the bed's going to go. So one of these freestanding adjustable mirrors in a bedroom is ideal at that point. You just set it someplace toward the foot of the bed that you open your eyes, look in the mirror, you can see toward the doorway. Let's say that here's the bed, here's where you are, and the door is right here. So in that case, you would take this mirror, put it somewhere in the corner so that as you open your eyes, you look and you see the door. Some Feng Shui authors say that's the only time to have a mirror in a bedroom. I'm not one of those people. What I say when I go to someone's home and I see mirrors in the bedroom, either on the closet doors or above the dressers, is I'll just turn to the person and I'll say, "How well do you sleep?" And if they sleep just fine, my theory is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if they say, "Oh, I toss and turn, I can't get to sleep," then I'll suggest that at night that something be draped over the extra mirrors. You draw some curtains over the sliding curtains or that sort of thing. You wouldn't put anything over the freestanding mirror if you were using it to see the doorway. All right, this is another good question. Does the mirror need to be full length? What you want to see in a mirror when you're walking around a room is at least see your head fully and completely. Don't have a mirror in your home where any adult has their head cut off, either above or below. You should be able to see from your voice box to a few inches above your head. That's your room to grow. So that's ideal in any mirror there. The only time it's usually a problem in a bedroom is when there is a low vanity where someone's meant to sit down and put their makeup on, and sometimes those mirrors just aren't made tall enough. So when someone isn't sitting there putting their makeup on, you would just drape a scarf over that mirror.